What's up, y'all? Sinead Almighty, aka the Global Dark Skin Ambassador. Back with another Rikers Island story. I know I've been walking outside a lot, you know what I'm saying, getting these vlogs in. I ain't came to the table. I ain't been doing enough like table stories in a minute, so I'm back at the table with another Rikers Island story. Now, this story is about how I definitively learned once and for all, 2008 Rikers Island, you don't ever judge a book by its cover. You can never tell how great, you can never tell the heart a man has by his stature. You can never judge a book by its cover, because when you do, you can make an ass out of yourself. Just like the word assumption got the word ass in it, you assume, you make an ass out of yourself, all right? So we're gonna take it to 2008 Rikers Island, C-74. I'm in 5 Main. This is the school floor. So in the school floor, you could be whatever house you in, but of course, within your classroom is going to be inmates from other houses, of course. And like, this was another way, you know, dudes mingle, forge, you know, brotherhoods and friendships, you know, camaraderie, blah, 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 all that other stuff. So now, this wasn't when I first got to Rikers Island. This was probably my 3rd, 4th month in. So my whole trial and error process of, you know, going through the drama, you know, popping it off on dudes and getting jumped, you know what I'm saying? I'm in a good position now. I ain't got to worry about that no more, so I'm real comfy. So at this point, I'm on the school floor. I'm treating school just like how I would have been treating it in the town. Like, I'm the class clown. I'm one of the smartest dudes in the class anyway. Plus, you know, this is Rikers Island. Like, I'm somebody who went to Catholic school and then went to public school and then went to Rikers Island. So, you know, Rikers Island, even the smartest classes, they think we all dumb. So I wasn't the only one, but, you know, I'm one of the smartest dudes in the class. So I'm just joking around, you know what I'm saying? We you know, playing the dozens, cutting each other ass, all type of stuff like that. But I remember one lower had, I wasn't familiar. See, the dudes who ran one lower at this current point in time, they was in the dummy class. So I wasn't too familiar with them. But they did have a couple of they dudes that was on the team, and a couple day room dummies, right? And a couple dudes who wasn't necessarily on the team, but they was rocking, you know what I'm saying? Because they wasn't soft. And there's somebody who could vouch for them. It was a couple dudes like that. So it was me. Like I said, the dudes that was running 5 Main, they was in the dummy class too. You know what I'm saying? But it was me, couple day room niggas from 5 Main, like 2 dudes that was on the team. It was a couple other dudes from 3 Main that was good. They wasn't day room. And then there was like 1 day room dummy from 1 lower. And it was like 2 bloods that was on the team and 1 lower. And then one day, a little small, tiny Crip dude. I forgot his name, but he must have been like, I think he was Payback or something like that. I don't know. You can't quote me on that. But I remember this short little dude. He couldn't have been taller than 5'3", 5'4". You know what I mean? 5'5" might be modest. 5'5" might be generous on him. You know what I'm saying? But he was Crip. He came into Rikers Island and he was jacking his Crip shit hard. He was jacking it. You know what I'm saying? And I believe at the time it was one of those rare situations in one lower where a Crip a Crip ran half the house, and then a Blood ran half the house. So for a Crip to run any half of any house and be running it with a Blood, even though I didn't know who he was, he had to have been certified. So I guess, you know what I'm saying, I guess he already, you know, pressed the new Crip dude, and the new Crip dude was certified or whatever, right? But even with that being said, it was still always tensions, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times the Bloods who was on the team, right, or the Bloods who was rocking, mind you, this is the era where we still had the chairs. So if you was on the team, you was fighting for chairs. You was fighting for chairs, you know what I'm saying? You was going 2-3 rounds. If you was allowed to go 2-3 rounds, you know what I'm saying? Unless you just totally got whooped out that first round, you know what I'm saying? Dudes was fighting for chairs. So you had Bloods fighting Bloods, Crips fighting Crips, Latin Kings fighting Latin Kings. Not Bloods fighting Bloods. I mean, sometimes Bloods fighting Bloods, or Crips fighting Bloods, Bloods fighting Crips for their chairs. Latin King, a chair might be up and running, and the Latin King might go against the Blood for it. You know what I'm saying? Not for beef purposes, but strictly for, hey, listen, this is the highest esteem. This is the trophy for being on the team and being the highest ranking oppressors, you feel me? But like I said, going back to the school floor, in comes this short Crip dude. Now, the Crip dude mind his business, you know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't a troublemaker, but at the same time, he had an energy about himself. He had an energy about himself, which was, he not going for nothing. He not going for nothing, but at the same time, I'm looking at him, I'm like, he tiny. I mean, and then, you know, me as a fan, this is like what we do. Like, we size people up and we start telling ourselves, like, I can take it. I beat the shit out of him. So I'm saying it to myself, I'm like, I reckon if it ever had to go that way, you know what I'm saying? Just like anybody else. Anybody else, when you out in the town or you in jail, you know what I'm saying? And half the time, these would be people who you think about that to yourself, but you end up being cool with these people and it never even comes to fisticuffs. Merry Fistmas, you feel me? But like I said, he chilling, and days is going by on the school floor. He getting cool with everybody, but I'm noticing for a couple days straight that the one lower dudes is coming in and he having like friction with this other Blood dude from one lower, right? Who has a chair. Now this dude looks like the bald low Caesar dude who tried to run down on Trey and Don't Be a Menace in South Central while drinking your juice in the hood, and then he got stomped out and got flattened out, right? The same dude who basically played the same kind of character in Menace to Society, the same dude who took advantage of that girl in the Players Club, he looked exactly like that dude, and he was like kind of swole. I remember he may have been like an inch or two shorter than me, but he was like kind of swole, and like he was on the team. He had a chair, and he had like a boastful nature about him. I think he might have been from Queens. This is one of those dudes who, he rubbed me the wrong way. So I kind of like stayed out of his way. Because it's as simple as this. He's a Blood, a high-ranking Blood. If I personally got into it with him, I'm just going to get jumped. It ain't like I got some people from some other gang that's going to hold my back. Mind you, this is early on in my Rikers Island bid. It's like, it's me. I'm literally the only GFC dude in Rikers Island. GFC didn't mean much to people who never heard about it and wasn't from the Bronx. It didn't mean much at that time, you know what I'm saying? Like, GFC didn't start becoming a thing and a mainstay on Rikers Island C-74 till maybe like 3-4 months after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we started getting deep once I got like to the mods and ran into T-Roy and you know, Bow Wow turned GFC and then Drewski and you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I noticed that they having friction, like the little Crip dude and the blood dude is having friction, but the Crip dude is like, he really not trying to have an issue with him. He really not trying to have an issue with him, but the blood dude is just like pressing, the issue, like always saying slick stuff. Like if he happened to be talking about whatever Crip thing that he happened to be talking about, whatever it had to do with a conversation he was having with somebody else who was Crip, somewhere else or something like that, or something happened out in the town, the blood dude would always have something slick to say. And I'm watching the little Crip dude, and mind you, he's like tiny, like not only short, he's like tiny, like he couldn't have been more than like 115, 120 pounds, if that, short, and he had like a little mini afro, like little dark skinned dude, you know what I'm saying? Like little dark skinned dude, but short, tiny. But he not like appearing to be soft at all. But I'm watching, I'm like, they're gonna fight. I see it. I'm like, yo, the blood dude really got static with this Crip dude just because he Crip. You feel me? So they fake getting into it, but not getting into it. But then one day, the blood calls the Crip a hardback. Just out the blue, randomly. Mind you, I said the Crip never, ever went out his way to disrespect the blood dude at all, right? At all. So once he says hardback, it's like in How High when he was like, with all due respect, sir, suck my, right? And today I was like, ooh, right? So everybody else in the classroom was like, right? So the Crip dude gets up like he about to pop that bottle on the blood, right? But then his man stops him. And sits him back down. But now they arguing and all of that. And then the blood dude is like, come on, man, you don't want this. You don't want this. I beat you and every Crip up in the house. Like, stop playing with me. Stop playing, blah, right? So then the Crip is like, yo, you know what? Since you keep acting like you want a problem, when we get back to the house, let's fight then. So then the blood is like, all right, cool, I'm gonna beat you up. He like, no, let's not just fight. Let's fight for your chair. I want your chair. So once again, it's like, I'm like, oh, he got hard. I'm like, yo, he got hard. Even though he about to get beat up. Because I'm looking at him, I'm like, yo, this dude literally works out, got muscles. He's bigger than this dude. You know what I'm saying? He looks intimidating, and I'm like, this is just a small payback Crip. I'm like, he got heart. If he lucky enough, he put up a fight, but I'm like, this is a David versus Goliath, where Goliath is going to win, you feel me? But I'm looking at the Crip dude, it's no fear in his face. He like, yo, listen, I'm gonna take your chair now, since you think you tough. So mind you, I'm in 5 so I don't know, I'm not able to see what's gonna happen, but class is over, everybody leave for the night, everybody come back the next day, we come in the next day, the little Crip dude comes in, right? He's smiling, his mans are smiling, the Crip dude has no mark on his face, right? No mark on his face. He's being a little bit boastful now without overdoing it, right? But he ain't got no mark on his face, and he feels even more, his energy is like even more confident than it was the day before, right? So the blood dude walks in. The blood dude, he looked like his lip was swollen. He got like a speed knot on his head and all of that. And in my mind, I'm like, damn. like, damn, you got washed. I'm thinking maybe he got jumped or something. I'm eavesdropping to the Crips and all of that. They talking and all that. And he like, yeah, man, I beat him up. Yeah, I got the chair. And then I do some asking around. Like, yo, the Crip beat up the blood dude, and now he's sitting in the chair. I'm like, how did this happen? They got the one on? He's like, yeah, they got the one on. And it turns out that the Crip could box. And he put the McGriddles. On the blood, who apparently could not fight that well, but the only thing he could do was throw haymakers. That was his thing, throwing haymakers, trying to knock you out. But the Crip was like a scientist. Like his hands was scientific, you feel me? So all he did was move out the way, bob, weave, boom, duck. And he was apparently talking greasy the whole time. So they fighting, and then eventually he gave him a speed knot first, cracked him in the forehead, right? And then eventually he busted his lip. And once he started bleeding, they like, yo, listen, man, the fight is over, man. Y'all about to make it hot, and the whole house gonna be in trouble. And now, apparently they're supposed to get round 2 in that new night, but the blood was so upset and embarrassed about what happened, he pops the bottle on the Crip just randomly. Like, I don't know, maybe the sergeant or whoever was there, he pops the bottle off just randomly and gets packed up out the house, you know what I'm saying? Sore loser. And then the Crip remained in that house for whatever amount of time he was there, because I remember he stayed, I think he went home from court, maybe like a month or 2 later, but he remained in the chair, had his own chair, and was on the team, right? Which sparked a lot of animosity with a lot of the other Bloods in the house, but it's like he wanted fair and square, you know what I'm saying? So he had a spot on the team until he left one lower. And that's how that story went, man. Little tiny Crip, who everyone assumed was gonna get his boot smoked, even though we knew he had heart, he ended up putting the beans, the McGriddles, the McGritties on the blood, man. Embarrassed him to the point where he popped off the bottle just to get out that crib, man. Like shit, come subscribe, peace.